Hello, thank you so much for joining me in my sewing room today. My name is Carole and my channel is called Sew Carole, and you're joining me in a collab video today. Now, this is a collab that I've done with the lovely Agata from Agata's Cottage. I live in England and she lives in Ireland, and we have done a couple of collabs together. Now, this one came about by chance. A few weeks ago in my hashtag Friday Sews, I was talking about that I wanted to make the Oakley Vest by Love Notions. Now, I will say, if you don't know me and my channel, I don't often make indie patterns. I tend to use the big four because I have in these drawers about 1,000 of them. But I bought a quilted fabric on a trip to America a few months ago now, and it was this stuff. So I held this pattern up on a Friday Sews, and Agata contacted me and said, I'm just about to make that pattern too. I said, we've got to do a collab. We've got to make them together. And obviously when you make a pattern together, you can share your experiences with somebody. And then when we do our collab, obviously the two channels we combine viewers, and it's awesome. And we can share our experiences with you. And of course you get two opinions, which is the more opinions you get on the pattern is the best. So going back to the pattern and the fabric. Now, when I bought this fabric, I will admit that I wanted to use the flowery side. Then this went away for the summer, and on reflection, I am glad that I used the plain side. So it's nice plain navy anyway. Now, I think Agata actually lined hers, so hers will be far superior to mine. I was just lucky that mine was double-sided. So what did I think of this pattern? I have to say the pattern is brilliant, but I did not enjoy sewing it. And I think the only reason I didn't enjoy it because it involves binding absolutely everything with bias binding or whatever, and I just found that boring. I know it's terrible. There was sort of literally your shoulder seams, or you did sew the collar and the side seams, but everything else was bound, the sleeves bound. And I know that's the nature of the beast, and that's what it's intending, but it wasn't an enjoyable sew for me. Now, I've got the good, the bad and the ugly with this. I started off using this satin. I will say my original intention was to separate this flowery fabric from the back. As you can see, I started, and I was going to use this as the bias tape, which I thought that'd be really pretty. When I eventually realised how much bias tape I was going to need and how much I was going to have to unpick, I'm afraid I abandoned that. I tried to get similar bias tape, but that didn't work either, so I went plain in the end. So silly me, I didn't look at the pattern first of all to find out how much bias binding I need, and when I was at the shop I just bought 3 meters thinking that would be enough. Wasn't. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't buy any more, because the first stuff I got was this lovely satin colour, but wow, it was soft and it moved. And the ugly bit of this is the binding on the pockets. Now, so you had to bind the pockets, and I know how to go around corners with bias binding, the way you do it, but to do sharp angles with this soft stuff that stretched was terrible. So I will say the pockets aren't done brilliantly. I'll get away with it because of the way the light reflects. So the pockets are slightly different colour to the rest of it. I then went on to buy another 5 meters, and I only have this left, of this much wider and firmer satin bias binding, which made the rest of the work so much easier. So it used a lot of binding, but had I read that in the beginning, then I would have known. So the good bit obviously was where the better binding went on, and the front zip works. So obviously I'll show it to you wearing it. Now, So it's plain, but then you get this flash of flowers, you had the option to bind the neckline, and I did actually. I was quite good, even though I was fed up at that point. But yeah, bound the neckline. It wants a 23-inch zip, separating zip. I could only get 22 or 24. I went 22, so maybe it's a little bit too short. I wouldn't want it coming up on the neck anyway, so I'm quite glad it does end kind of right on that seam there, and it's got about a 2-inch gap at the bottom, but that's fine. I am really pleased with it on. It is exactly what I wanted. Kind of body warmer, because the good thing about these is you can wear them under coats as well. If you're walking and it's you've just got a light rain jacket on, you can actually wear that underneath, and you've got the warmth, and you don't get too overwhelmed with heat. So I didn't think I'd like the stand-up collar. I did. I didn't think I'd like the shape on me. I do. I love the fact that you've got the very bright inside, but it's very classic looking when it's on from the outside. Obviously you've got the flash of flowers in there. So all in all, I'm really pleased with it, but I didn't enjoy making it. I will say that very recently I picked up this pattern, Simplicity, I think it's 1499, that's the display number, isn't it? And a lot of you said, why did you buy that if you've already got the Oakley vest? Well, I wanted to see how different it was, and obviously I got this in a sale anyway. But what I did like about this one is the fact it's got sort of French seams down the front. Let me get the inside. There you go, you can see it better. So you've got the French seams, so it is creating more of a curve, whereas this one is very basic in its shaping. And also with this one, you've got the inseam pockets there, which would be really nice. I will definitely try and make this, because I want to compare the shapes. But I will say, first of all, I thought, oh, perhaps this one doesn't have as much binding. But yeah, if I'd done the version which is more or less the same, it has exactly the same construction and binding everywhere. So as I said in the beginning, that's kind of the nature of the beast of a sleeveless vest, or gilet as we call it. So I will certainly be making this one at some points with the inseam pockets and just seeing what that shaping's like. But I absolutely love this, and it's going to be worn a lot. So let's see how the lovely Agata got on. Now, I know she had as much fun with the binding as I did. I think she used a slippy fabric, so you've got to go and check her out. And I cannot wait to see myself, because obviously I haven't seen it yet, so I want to see her results as well. And as I said, I think she lined hers, so she's gone way above my capability. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you've enjoyed this collab and giving you a bit of inspiration if you fancied making something like this. It was super easy in construction, and if you like doing bias binding, you'll have a whale of a time. So thank you again. Please don't forget to join me on #FridaySews, which I tend to pop up on a weekend on a Friday. Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye for now.